Hello everybody on the internet. As we know, there will be another MCU Spider-Man trilogy following Peter Parker after Spider-Man No Way Home, where he truly became Spider-Man. But we don't know when these movies will come out, or anything about them. So hopefully we get some news soon. But Kevin Feige recently said that Daredevil and Spider-Man will lead the street level side of the MCU going forward, which sounds very cool. And of course, the No Way Home mid-credit scene featuring Sony's cringy Venom showed a piece of the symbiote remained in the 616 universe. That is all we have to speculate with on what the next trilogy will be. They will definitely do the symbiote better than Spider-Man 3 did. But a character that I think this trilogy needs is Black Cat. She is an absolute must. Felicia Hardy is one of Spider-Man's most iconic villains / love interests, who has never been done in a movie, other than briefly being in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but that barely resembled Felicia Hardy. Since there have been so many other Spider-Man movies, Marvel Studios made sure to never do stories or characters that have already been done in their Spider-Man movies. But unfortunately, Sony are stupid and keep on trying to make movies out of random Spider-Man villains, which takes away great potential from the MCU's Spidey. The terrible Venom movies. Morbius, the less said about that the better. If for some reason they're trying to make Kraven the Hunter a hero, Madam Web, just why? And who knows whatever else Sony are trying to cash in on. They need to wake up and realise that these characters do not work without Spider-Man, and that their movies are atrocious. Years ago they were trying to make a Black Cat and Silver Sable movie, which thankfully didn't happen. And I've seen reports from early 2021 that they were still wanting to do a Black Cat movie, but hopefully No Way Home's success has made Sony allow Marvel Studios to use more characters they want. So this still leaves some villains that haven't been done before, which gives this next trilogy a lot of potential. Since Spider-Man 4 will be more street level, and since Peter is now all alone and going into college, it's honestly perfect timing to introduce Black Cat. It's also more age appropriate to do something like Black Cat. The best version of Black Cat we've gotten is in the Spider-Man game, which makes me think how perfect a live action Black Cat would be. Black Cat should be introduced in Spider-Man 4 because in the comics at the time of 1984's Secret Wars, Peter and Felicia are dating, and while on Battleworld, Peter gets the symbiote. Then in Amazing Spider-Man 252, he returns home with the symbiote and tries to work out his relationship with Felicia. And she likes Spidey with the symbiote, but they break up sometime after this. Since we now have a symbiote in the MCU, it makes a lot of sense for Spider-Man 4 to be Peter bonding with the symbiote and meeting Black Cat. No Way Home ended with Peter choosing to let Ned and MJ go to keep them safe. There is no way Marvel will disregard those two, but Peter's life is now open for more opportunities and twists and turns. He could find love with a certain cat burglar. Typically Felicia Hardy is older than Peter, but I think her being around the same age as Peter would also work in the foundations of the MCU. And Tom Holland would truly work great opposite a character like this, and find chemistry with whoever they cast as Felicia. Black Cat shouldn't just be in one movie. She deserves to be a prominent supporting character in the whole trilogy. I don't think she should be a villain though. Since she's a criminal, she could have connections to the villain's plot. Maybe in Spider-Man 4, she falls in love with Spider-Man, and later in the trilogy, Peter reveals his identity to her. And in their relationship, they should fight at times since she always has her own agenda. They do love each other, but their difference in morality keeps her from going straight. And the symbiote, of course, has bad effects on the host. No, not like that. Peter struggles as both the symbiote and Felicia bring out the bad in him, which she loves, but ultimately, he brings out the good in her. And through this emotional battle, Spider-Man and Black Cat should take down the villain. On that note, what villains could be in this trilogy? I don't think they'll make a new Venom because Sony have already ruined that. I think the symbiote here could be more of a psychological enemy, an inner demon. Other than that, Mr. Negative was done amazingly in the game, and Feast exists in the MCU, so he would be awesome. Silver Sable could be the first female villain in a live action Spidey movie. Matt Gargan was in Homecoming, so maybe he could become Scorpion. And there is no doubt in my mind that they will team up Daredevil and Spider-Man at some point. And it 100% should be against Kingpin. Black Cat would truly make the best, most compelling story for Spider-Man 4. It would be a big loss if Sony don't let Marvel Studios use her. Either way, I'm never going to watch another Sony Marvel movie. Other than Spider-Verse, of course, that is awesome. So, what do you think of Black Cat potentially being in Spider-Man 4? What do you want from the next Spidey trilogy? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, with great power comes great responsibility.